Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we are playing a mono red prowess deck that I've entitled Red Prowess Wins, and it makes use of the big time mono red aggro cards as well as enhancing it by powering in a bunch of other stuff that makes use of instant and sorcery spells. Power, 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 baby. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host. Check me out next week on Celebrity Family Feud as me and the rest of my minions from the secret underground lair take on the Kardashians. Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Film before a live studio audience. Thank you so much. Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So today I am broadcasting to you from my secret underground headquarters. And before I get to the deck, I just want you to know that I ended up getting COVID. That's what's been going on for the last couple days. I have been pretty much asleep, and I've finally gotten back to where I can hold my consciousness together for a couple of hours, and I figured I would try to get a video together. And that's what today's video is going to be about. So there's occasional cough or whatever. It's just a nice COVID cough, and luckily you can't catch it through YouTube. All right, so for today's deck, I ended up pulling a deck off the Aether Hub. This one was posted by the MTGA Assistant Meta, and they called it Mono Red Wins. I ended up naming it Red Prowess Wins, because it was a prowess deck. Yeah, I first was looking at this deck, and I couldn't figure out what the deal was with it, which made it kind of enticing. So I thought, ooh, there's got to be some reason why this deck came up there. They put it as a 54% win rate. I really want to see how well this thing does. That's pretty good numbers for Aether Hub. And so I'm looking forward to just seeing how it goes. When we played it the first time, I could tell this is actually a prowess deck. Yeah, we're putting out prowess guys from Jaya. That guy's got prowess. This guy's got prowess. And Electrostatic Infantry kind of has prowess in his way. Not quite as much as prowess guys. Because what do these guys do? When you cast a non-creature spell, and this is only for instants and sorceries. But, you know, he's like a battery. He'll keep that stuff forever. These guys only use it for the turn that you did it on. But the rest of the deck has got a lot of going on. So anyways, let's take a look at the cards that are in this deck. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. We've got, let's just go this way. We got creature that gets bigger, creature that flies, creature that gets bigger, creature that gets bigger. We got an invasion that does 2 points of damage to something and then can be turned into a dragon that is a 4/4 trampler that deals 2 points of damage whenever you attack. That's super cool. Yeah, and then this puts out creatures that grow bigger, and those don't. But then other than that, we've got make creatures bigger, put out damage, make creatures bigger, and then you get a 2/2 with haste, shoot for 2, shoot for 3, draw cards, shoot for 5, and then a couple of planeswalkers that this one gets you some more mana. What else it does? Lets you draw stuff off the top of your library and play them from exile. This one lets you draw stuff from the top of your library and play from exile. You see there's a lot of repetition in behaviors in this particular deck here. This one is turns into a temporary creature for attacking. That's always a great way. That way it can't really be killed very easily. So anyways, it's just getting a truckload of dudes out, playing your non-dude related cards to pump them all up, and using your planeswalkers to accelerate the situation. All right, so that's it. I can tell you this stuff generally works pretty dang well. All right, so before we go out and cause our damage to people, let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Dear Black King Toxroll, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as I attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentation of the women. And we're playing against V.I.L, very illogical Leviathan. Keep. All right, 20 turns to go. 19 more now. He's getting pissed off. That's one pissed off Phoenix chick. That thing's got a big butt. Oh, I gotta waste so much on that one particular card, though. All right, 17 turns to go. He still only has 1 mana. That's crazy. All right, let's see a rat. Power Fist! Power Fist! There we go. Touchdown, Lava Bears! Alright, we are playing against Kai. K-I. This guy can't afford uppercase. He's not going to have a pet. Not going to have any sleeves. 1 mana. Is that going to do it? Practically. Let's keep it. Let's see if we can deal with this. He's got a pet and sleeves, but his pet can't afford clothes. I mean, at least mine's got scales on. His is just naked. Naked! One point. I'm really hoping I get at least that 2nd mana. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. Power! See, I don't think that guy's a blocker. Still, just have the 1 mana. Alright. We got him down to 13. We still have 1 mana. I'll get rid of drawing cards, because who cares, right? I should have got rid of the Warcrafting, since that costs 3. Oh, there's number 2. Alright, at least you got some guys that are, can't block. There we go. Right to the face, sucker. Right to the face. Alright, up and against Deadly Sins. You can't afford real letters, you just use a bunch of numbers. No to the dragon. Here's me hoping I pull out creature our next turn. A cheap one at that. I can put this guy out. He's got prowess. He's got grace. He's Dwarven Forge-Chanter. I better start clearing the board a little bit. I see, this is a big time prowess deck. Alright. Let's put out a number of guys there. I got a lot of things we could potentially do. Let's Invasion Tarkir. Let's pump them up a little bit. Alright, got somebody up to 1. Or up to 5, I should say. Other 2, you go in. Is that enough? Should we just kill them? 5, 6, 7. Oh, never mind. That would have been dumb. That's the problem with those invasions. They take you away from your true target. Victory! Alright, up and against Count Kicks a Lot. Just can't control his legs. He's just kicking all the time. Keep. The guy on the ground. Sure. You, dude. I'll attack. Alright. Yeah, I wanted to put the Phoenix Chick out on the next turn so you can be pumped. I'd like to pump that jam, pump it up, get our Phoenix Chick booty on the dance floor. Do I care? No. Don't waste, man. You're mono red. You're going for the face. Always for the face. That dragon sounds pretty good, though. Let's see what he goes after here. That was kind of dumb. I should have done that in the middle. There's a lot of things I should have done in the middle right there. That's what you get. You know, like they say, you gotta count your mana while you're sitting at the table. I'm not counting my mana. Guess who's joining the fray? I'll attack! That looks like 7 to me. Boom, boom! Goes the room. Victory! Alright, playing against Marley. 2 mana, that's enough. And all in. Alright, what are you doing with your red? You're doing that, huh? Alright. I'll just shoot whatever comes out of this unholy combination. I'm gonna do something very un-mono red-like and actually, like, wait. This is what we gotta watch out for, is this thing right there. Right there. Okay, we can kill the Kumano that comes out with our play with fire. Or I could just do Squee, which would be even better. Just get the guy pumped! Alright, let's go for the dragon. We'll see if that is even worth it. I just feel like I'm wasting my time is the problem. See, I'm not completely out of play of features at this moment. How did that not get him? Oh, it has to be instant or sports read. It's not just a prowess guide in. Alright. Well, that was totally not fun. Let's go get a dragon. Alright, we got some teeth. And we're going to draw some cards. Apparently we can't play any of them. All right, we got him down to 8. I'm going to use Lightning Strike defensively. Hopefully I can just weather whatever's going to happen here. Should I worry about this? What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just kill it. Ripping them apart, bit by bit, down to 1. And we win! Victory! Our plan against Joe the Great. I believe that's a lady spelling of the name Joe. 1, 2. That's the lady spelling. Keep. Alright, we can make something pissed off next turn. That'll be good. I'm going to give it to the flyer. Alright, turn 3, we can start throwing out our prowess type of dudes. Oh, he's just trying to cut me down. Unfortunately, neither of those are going to trigger off these guys very well. If I don't play them, then I lose them. So let's just play them. Pissed off Phoenix chick! Alright, it's down to 6. What do we got there? 4 throwing around. And we'll be able to prowess that everything up. Well, 2 of those guys at least. Yeah, I'll screw this guy. The other guys have the ability to actually grow better. That's 4. Each one will grow by 1. Yeah, this guy's almost out of mana. He's got 4 mana though. That's not almost out. At 6. And we win. No, we didn't just win right there. Well, I'll have to do the hard way right there. I guess that's not 6. That's only 5. Oh, math. How have you defeated me again? Even in my greatest victories, you left me wanting. Victory! Alright, so here we are with Red Prowess wins, and it was good. It was a good deck. What did I end up with there? Let me take a look. 75% win rate. Man, it was, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in a row. Start off with just win, 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 win. Couple of losses. I'll tell you where this thing falls apart is when they start putting out big butts, you can't make it through. It's a big problem. You need to have it's aggro, so you have to have it early, you have to have it fast, you have to be able to kill them before they can get big guys out. And so I started playing against people that, put out something with 4 for defense. I just didn't really have it. Like one guy had like indestructible, couldn't do anything about that. So anytime I tried to attack, one of my dudes would die. It was a slippery slope to where I'd have nobody left, and that was just death. But this deck, otherwise though, did 3/4 of the time. It was fantastic. People could not keep up against the tempo of this deck. It was so fast, and it grew continuously, which was great. I mean, you had to keep pumping that, man. You had to pump the gas into it. It was definitely, a non-renewable resource. But there was a nice collection of both. And provided you got the fuel at the right time with the engine, then it was really hard for people to hold up against. So let's see, who was the MVP? In reality, I'm going to say, a lot of times you'd think the Electrostatic Infantry would be, because they actually held on to the stuff. But he was actually so slow in this deck, I didn't really like him that well. He just felt so against the grain of what was happening. Who was the MVP? You know what I really liked? I really liked Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. You know what it was? Is because I like the fact that you just put out a Prowess Monk once per turn. Yeah, that was great. I like doing that. I like the fact that you could go and exile the top 2 cards of your library. I needed to do that a bunch, potentially. I like the fact that she could do damage equal to the number of attacking creatures. Good. I mean, the utility of everything she had going on was fantastic. I wish I could have done the -8, but that never happened. The deal was that we always got to a point where she was dead well before we got to the 8 category for her. But everything before that, still really good with this deck. There was always a reason for all of it. It was good. Plus, you got to see the dudes with the power fists, and those guys were space awesome. Who did I call out here? Yeah, Jaya. She was my MVP. There's only one of them in there. That's the thing. All the rest of this deck, it was good. Just nothing really stood out as being more than anything else. Jaya was that one thing that when you got it, you're really excited about it. All right, so is this deck competitive? Let's see, I showed a 75% ratio. What did Aetherub have for this thing? It had it down at 54. So the thing is, though, this is definitely a competitive deck. I think so. Because usually, my rates are usually much higher than what you see on the Platinum Mythic list. I think this deck is definitely one of those things you can climb the ladder with. Is this made up of a bunch of rare cards? Let's take a look here. I'm just seeing budget so far. That's okay. That's a mythic right there. It's not that. I mean, when you get the Defiant Thundermaw, that guy was incredible. All right, that thing is, he's too slow to be all that effective. I paid for him, and you know what? He ended up winning the game for me. So, it might take you. Usually with Mono Red, you're just always going for the face, and that's what I was doing. But one game, I said, let's go ahead and see if we can get this guy cracked open. He ended up winning the game. I thought I was going to lose. He won it for me. We're going. We're going here. Chandra's a mythic. There's a rare mythic. Okay, so this is not a budget deck, but there's so many budget cards in here. If you wanted to pay a nice cheap deck that you can go and you don't have to draft that much, this is definitely one of those decks. And you don't need all this stuff. I mean, the Warcrafting is really good, but you could do other things instead of that. Chandra, she's okay. She's just cheaper than Jaya, that's the thing. She does roughly the same kind of stuff. Doesn't put out cool dudes like Jaya does. All right, so competitive, check. Was this deck fun? Yes, it totally was. Now, I am a mono red player in my heart. In my heart's heart, it is all goblin all the time. And this deck was much to the same love of mono red, which is all light aggros with a good amount of fun instance to be able to make kooky, tricksy things happen. You know what I didn't like talking about that then is a lot of the stuff we had were sorceries. What am I thinking of here? Ancestral Anger is a sorcery, meaning you had to play it ahead of the time to get it to work. Kind of wish that we had less sorceries and more instants because I found that being a problem for me. Doesn't look like I had much of a choice there. And here's Warcrafting, also sorcery. Not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's just Ancestral Anger. I know it's one of those things that gets bigger the more you play it. You get a draw card off of it too, but I wasn't the biggest fan of Ancestral Anger. That's the weird thing about this deck. Despite the fact that it did so well, I felt that there was a few like anchors, and like the Electrostatic Infantry comes out slow, and he's like this weird rock, and he's not that big of a butt to be able to survive through things. Ancestral Anger, you have to play ahead of time. People can see you're telegraphing your move well ahead of time. And it doesn't give it, zero defense to anything you're playing on, so it can be killed so early. It seemed like a shitty way to play with cards. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's in here. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, but I would maybe look at changing those 2 cards out. Still, fun deck. Was it interesting? Well, I gotta say, when I played it, when I grabbed it, it was just called Red Deck Wins. I'm like, well, what is different from, mono red aggro then? What is different from it? I saw that this one had Jaya in it, and I saw that we had the Dwarven Forge-Chanter, and we had Electrostatic Infantry. Every mono red deck, and anything that's playing aggro red, is going to have Kumano, Monastery Swiftspear, Phoenix Chick, Play with Fire. You're all going to have at least these cards right here. And then, seeing Lightning Strike, Reckless Impulse, Ancestral Anger, that's also second tier mono, like red aggro, right? Lightning Strike, absolutely. And then you're seeing Invasion of Tarkir almost all the time as well. These guys are kind of weird, right? And here's Warcrafting. You're seeing that in big red because it's kind of considered to be expensive, but you're able to do that 5 points of damage. That's pretty decent. But Jaya and Chandra in here as well. See, Chandra's good in a lot of mono red decks. I guess Jaya was the thing that just seemed weird to me. It's this threesome right here, and then I guess these other 2. They made this deck look weird, and I thought, what is it about this deck? What does it make it tick? Let's pull out and play it. I thought it was interesting for a mono red deck. So sue me. We played mono red, and it was a prowess deck. That's what it ended up being. It was a prowess deck. Who had prowess? Monastery Swiftspear, Jaya's dudes, the Chanter, and the Electrostatic Infantry. That's what it ended up being, a prowess deck. That's what made it interesting. I didn't recognize it at first. So yeah, it was an interesting deck. That's super interesting. I mean, it just it had all the good mono red aggro features to it, with a little bit of the growth that comes from prowess. All right, so what does that add up to? We've got competitive, check. We got fun, yeah, and we have is interesting, and not really. I'm going to give this deck just a standard A, not an A+, just because it wasn't as interesting. Could it be? I think the most interesting about it was the fact that it was just not named a prowess deck, even though it was a prowess deck. Probably because I got this from the MTGA assistant that's not really good at naming their decks. Yeah, that's probably what the deal was. But anyways, it's a straight A deck. It was lots of fun, and I would say that it's pretty cheap to put together as well. So if you want to play with this deck, I will bet that you'll have just as much fun with it as I will. All right, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Later.